Hello and welcome to TheFederal. Yesterday, the Hindustan Times reported an exclusive story of theirs on Justice Shekhar Yadav. Now, many of you may have forgotten, perhaps, of who Justice Shekhar Yadav is. He's a judge of the Allahabad High Court. He was in news in December and subsequently for having attended an event at the Allahabad High Court premises organized by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, which is one of the organizations of the Sangh Parivar, an affiliate of the RSS. And at that event, Justice Shekhar Yadav had made certain remarks which many people would consider as hate speech. He had talked about the need for majoritarian rule in India, and this was a seminar on the need for a uniform civil code. So while speaking in that seminar, Justice Yadav had made several comments against the Muslim community. And naturally, the comments created a huge political storm. Many from the opposition protested. It created a lot of outrage among civil society activists, judicial activists, who asked whether, and rightly so, whether the statements made by Justice Yadav do not constitute judicial misconduct and are not grounds enough for his impeachment. Now, this was on the 8th of December last year. Subsequently, the members of parliament from the opposition in the Rajya Sabha moved a motion to impeach Justice Yadav. And the Supreme Court also took cognizance of the matter and summoned, as is the usual practice, Justice Yadav's response to the allegations, the Allahabad High Court Chief Justice's response, and was in the process of initiating an inquiry, which is often done in such cases, an internal inquiry against Justice Yadav. Now, the HT report, the Hindustan Times report yesterday says that in March sometime, the Supreme Court received a letter from the Rajya Sabha Secretariat telling the Supreme Court that the Rajya Sabha chairman and Vice President, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar, is cognizant, is aware of the case, Justice Yadav's case, and it is under his active consideration. There is an impeachment motion that is pending against him, and so the Supreme Court should not conduct any parallel inquiry into the matter. Now, subsequently, 3 more months have passed. The statements were made on the 8th of December last year. Today, it is the 10th of June. More than 6 months have passed. The Supreme Court stopped the orders for a formal inquiry because they were asked to do so by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. And the Rajya Sabha, interestingly, is yet to institute an inquiry or even inform Parliament and members of the opposition whether their motion to impeach Justice Yadav has been accepted or rejected. And so, as I said, a 6-month gap, a 6-month void that's already been there in this case now. Now compare that with what happened in the case of Justice Yashwant Verma, another judge of the Delhi High Court. His parent High Court also happens to be the Allahabad High Court. Justice Yashwant Verma's case was of corruption. In his case, burnt cash was recovered from his official Delhi residence on the 14th of March. Subsequently, an internal inquiry by 3 judges was instituted by the Supreme Court. Replies were asked for, responses were asked for from Justice Verma, from the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court. Those were given. Justice Verma's deposition was taken. Whatever proceedings the inquiry committee had to do, they conducted. And in May, around the 3rd of May, the inquiry committee completed its inquiry. On the 8th of May, the inquiry report, although in sealed covers, so we don't really know what the inquiry committee concluded, but the inquiry report was submitted to the president, to the prime minister, and is now awaiting further action by whether it is impeachment or anything else. During the entire course of this case regarding Justice Yashwant Verma, there is no letter from the Rajya Sabha chairman to the Supreme Court saying that inquiring into judicial misconduct is an exclusive prerogative of Parliament or the Rajya Sabha chairman. And so no inquiry should be done. The inquiry happened, even the report came out, was completed and submitted. So the obvious question that arises when you compare the two, or even if you don't make a comparison, and just look at the facts in the Justice Shekhar Yadav case, what is the obvious question here? Who is protecting Justice Shekhar Yadav, and why? Should his comments, which in any other scenario, if it was not a judge, if it was, somebody, some common citizen who had made such remarks, in all probability, a case of hate speech would have been registered against that person. But nothing of that sort has happened in Justice Shekhar Yadav's case. In Justice Yashwant Verma's case, another grouse that the Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha has repeatedly talked about is that 3 months have passed or 4 months have passed since the recovery of cash, and not a single FIR has been filed against Justice Verma to date. The same question then would apply to Justice Yadav. Why no inquiry, at the insistence, it seems, of the Rajya Sabha Secretariat? No impeachment proceedings either, which the Supreme Court should have ordered by now, the Rajya Sabha chairman should have ordered by now, and no FIRs, nothing. Meanwhile, Justice Yadav is going to retire in April next year, which means there's just about 10 more months left for his tenure. Now, the last parliament session, the Rajya Sabha chairman had informed members of parliament, 55 of them who had signed the impeachment motion with regard to Justice Yadav, that he was checking the veracity of the signatures. Now, remember, this letter, this motion for impeachment had been submitted in December itself. So from December to March or to February, the veracity of the signatures itself had not been checked by the Rajya Sabha chairman, and 3 months have passed since then too. So 6 months, the Rajya Sabha chairman has not been able to check the veracity of the signatures. He pointed out during the budget session of Parliament earlier this year that one signature had been denied by the signatory. 50 signatures are required to go ahead with a motion for impeachment. So even if that one signature was declared invalid, the Rajya Sabha chairman still had 50 signatures with him to proceed with admitting the motion for impeachment, which was not done. Was it because Justice Yadav was attending an event organized by the VHP, an affiliate of the RSS, a front for an organization connected with the ruling party today? That's something that many in the opposition have been asking. We know the allegations that many in the opposition have made against the conduct of proceedings of Rajya Sabha by Mr. Dhankhar. He has repeatedly been accused of partisan conduct of not allowing the opposition to have its say in important matters in Parliament. So the allegation now again on who is protecting Justice Yadav. Why is he being protected? Is it because he was attending a seminar, a lecture, or an event organized by the VHP, or whether his views in that event mirror the views we constantly hear from the Hindutva ecosystem, from supporters of the RSS, the BJP, the ruling party, with regard to the Muslims? Is that the reason that the inquiry, the impeachment motion, all of that seem to have not moved at all? Should it have taken 6 months for the president, for the vice president, for the chairman of the Rajya Sabha to even institute an inquiry to admit the impeachment motion? I ought to tell you that an impeachment motion also takes a lot of time to proceed. It's not as if the motion is admitted and the next day, the judge is either asked to step down or sacked or is proven to be innocent. It's not as simple as that. Once an impeachment motion is admitted, then again, in any case, an inquiry has to happen. That inquiry will take time. It's a very long drawn process. By the time that comes in, then the next stages have to be looked into. Depositions, defense of Justice Yadav, the arguments against him, the arguments in his favor. All of that, again, will take time. And as I said, there's just another 10 months left of his tenure. So back to the same question, who seems to be protecting Justice Yadav? Are there two different yardsticks to judge the judges? One for judges who have been accused of misconduct, but on grounds which mirror the political, the ideological views of the ruling party, and different yardstick for judges accused of all kinds of other misconduct, as is the case of Justice Verma, where he's been accused of corruption. There are serious matters at play here. We have to wait and see what the Rajya Sabha chairman does. The monsoon session of Parliament is scheduled to start on the 21st of July. The opposition has already been asking questions on whether the impeachment motion is going to be admitted or not against Justice Yadav. Why did the Rajya Sabha chairman prevent the Supreme Court from having an inquiry in one case, Justice Yadav's case, while in the case of Justice Verma, there was no such interference? So crucial questions. We don't even know whether we'll get the answers to those, but it's a serious matter, considering that what's at stake is not just the conduct of judges, the judiciary, but also how cases of misconduct by the judiciary are to be dealt with, not just by the judiciary itself, but even by the political system. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out, but we'll keep bringing you whatever updates happen in this very important case. Thank you.